What is up, guys? How's it going? So, once again, got Lurr Lounge going, trying to be consistent with it. Got Bam and Mr. R with us. We're going to talk about, well, okay, to start off, we're going to kind of talk about the rankings again, just because in the comment section of my video that I posted, there is a lot of people arguing about Acola and Spargo being number one, and some people were saying it was impossible for Spargo to be number one, and then there's some people saying it was impossible for Acola to be number one. So I think we should just kind of get that out of the way and kind of explain why it's not impossible.
Yeah, sure, man. So you know how you have like a half of people saying it's impossible for Spargo to win, and there's half people saying Acola can win? What if those things are right at the same time and we combine it, and that means no one knows who's going to be first place, and it's contingent on the priority of each side? That is your answer.
I could see it going either way. To make like a hard stance on one or the other is like crazy to me because you're so close. You know what I mean? It's like can't really make a hard stance saying like, "Oh, Spargo's gonna be number one for sure." Like if that doesn't happen, I'll be surprised. Like it's too close to make like statements like that. I'd say.
Yeah,
we'll see.
It just depends on how they're weighing events because yes, Acola won a bunch of Japanese tournaments, many of which people would say are super stacked, but there's also a possibility that they're not weighed as heavily because despite them being as stacked as they are, Spargo has attended more events that have more of the top 5 players in them. So there's also that. Yep. So they might have weighed that into consideration more. It really just depends on how the algorithm is because, yeah, I mean, like we've been saying, if they care about Spargo's head-to-head with Acola more, then obviously he'll be ranked above them. But if they care more about Acola's consistency, then Acola will be ranked number one.
Yeah. We'll see.
Okay, so we got that out of the way. All right, what should we talk about first? Wavedash or the tournaments coming up?
There's CEO coming up, and then there's the Japanese tournament coming up, and then there's the French tournament coming up this weekend, right? Wait, when you say Wavedash, what do you mean? Talk about Wavedash? Like,
there's a tournament.
The tournament Wavedash.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Leo was there.
Like CEO?
Leo was there. No, it happened last weekend.
This already happened.
Oh, yeah. You determined where Leo beat Sonics, right?
Yeah. I was also there, by the way.
Oh, you were there at the tournament. Wait, did you enter?
He did enter.
God damn it.
He wanted to do really well.
You did enter. That's crazy because I feel like I didn't see your name anywhere.
I got 17.
Oh no! Why are you doing this, Robin?
I got 17. I lost. I lost the chase. I lost the chase in Lima.
Those aren't bad losses.
They're not bad losses at all.
Chase? That's surprising.
That's surprising.
I threw for content.
Because you're really good against Palu, right?
Yeah, I threw for content. Let's leave it at that. You details. I didn't go Falco against him. I only went Wolf.
Why would you do that?
Do I have to repeat myself?
I refuse to believe you threw for content. That doesn't even make any sense. Like you're supposed to win for content. People are gonna see you more when you win.
Me versus Lima went to game 5. He did something I've never seen a Bayo do. He did Witch Twist 2 to footstool downer. So
just to make sure that he got the right placing for it, or what?
No. Okay, so I was staying at the ledge, right? He hit me with Witch Twist 2, like the double jump twist or the second Witch Twist.
Oh yeah, okay. So he did it at the ledge so he can actually get you in the dare.
And he comboed in the footstool downer. Right. Like
it has to be Witch Twist 2 as well.
Yeah, that one has to be Witch Twist 2.
I was like
a couple times, but it's never been something that I don't think many Bayos try to do that consistently. Well, even in general footstool dare.
Yeah,
right? I think only like Lima does use it.
He spams it.
Yeah. He actually like looks for it a lot.
Yeah.
Even just general footstool dare because that's like actually optimal for her. Out of shield for kills, which is like godlike.
Yeah.
As long as you but you have to do it like in a weird way too because you can't just footstool jump forward because if you do that you get hit with the back hitbox instead. So you have to forward like footstool and then you have to like fade back and then dare in order for you to actually get the right hitbox to get the kill.
Yeah.
But that's crazy that he was doing that for Witch Twist 2. You don't see people really doing that intentionally.
I've seen Bales do footstool downer ever since Smash 4, but they'll just do like Witch Twist into like side B into Witch Twist 2 and then footstool. Like that's how I usually see it. Yeah, I mean if you're Bale, you have to find kills like early. So I'm not surprised he spams that, quote unquote spams that, because If you get that, your opponent just dies like mad early. And if you can get early kills with Bayo, she's like the best character in the game, pretty much.
Yeah. I feel like him specifically too, like whenever Bayo's burn their resources and they have like a bunch of lag, he'll fish for footstool downer. Like he'll start, I think he just mashes jump, and then like if he footstools them, he dares them. But yeah, I feel like overall I played pretty solid despite me throwing.
What is the best of 5?
Yeah, it was best of 5 for both sets.
So you and Wolf like the entire set versus Chase?
Yeah.
Why?
It just felt like it.
Okay, alright. Cool.
So, okay. Versus Lima, I played against Demon, and he beat me when I was a Wolf. So then I switched to Falco, which is easier. Like the matchup's just easier, I feel like.
With Falco?
I think they both beat Bayo, but I just feel like it's easier with Falco, the matchup.
I also saw I did see Lima beating Motsunabe in Japan, the Falco player. That was a tight set as well.
I think Lima's had close sets with every Falco player, because versus Tilde, his set was also really close, but Tilde ended up winning, but it was still like a really close set. I feel like Lima probably has more experience in the matchup than Wolf, but I just think the matchup's easier. Yeah, to be honest, versus Chase, I should have gone Falco. I know I should have, but I just wanted to go Wolf.
Wolf is a hard man at top level. Like you always have to be warmed up with him, you know? You always have to be like tuned in. It's hard to just like he doesn't just play the game for you.
Yeah.
Even though he's really good, you have to play the mini game basically against any character. Whereas like if you're Samus, like Samus in tournament is just must be nice, you know? I'm so jealous of like Samus players in tournament.
Yeah, I've said this before. I think that overall, Wolf is the hardest spacie at a top level.
You think he's harder than Fox?
I don't think Fox is that hard. I think Fox. Okay, I think Fox is. How do I explain it? I think Fox can be more unforgiving, but I just think that's Fox as in general. Just because he's like such a light character, you could just die early.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely true.
But like I feel like Fox's game plan is pretty straightforward and simple.
And you can just run over people.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas with Wolf, there's like a lot of moments where you have to change the way you play a matchup a lot. And I also think that out of the 3 spacies, I think it's easier to get overwhelmed as Wolf because he doesn't have the buttons to get characters off of him compared to the other 2.
Even though Fox doesn't have like crazy out of shield, his double jump is really fast and goes really high. Or even his like the full hop. He can just like full hop out of like shield pressure like Grenada does. And that's people don't talk about how good at it. It's like the fact that he can just jump out of pressure so reliably. Like I don't think people realize how good that is. Because there's so many scenarios in this game where you're just kind of if you shield or if you like try to parry, but jumping is also a bad idea, and so is rolling. So having like a good jump in those scenarios, for example, you're getting like back aired in the corner against Cloud, and your shield is low. Like if you have like Fox's jump in a scenario like that, like you're just gonna be so much more slippery and like easier to get back into neutral from disadvantage or like from a bad spot because of a jump like that. I'm just bringing this up because I feel like people don't give Fox enough credit. Because they're always like, oh, he doesn't have the best out of shield options. Same with Greninja. Like, they don't have the best out of shield options. That's true, but they're so good at jumping out of pressure that it honestly doesn't matter sometimes.
I mean, Fox's out of shield options are pretty good. They're not amazing.
They're not terrible.
Yeah,
they're not terrible.
They're not like Game & Watch up B or like like a frame 3 option or 4, but he has some solid out of shield options. Kind of an easier way to explain why I feel that way is I just think that Fox and Falco have an easier game plan than Wolf, like across the board.
I mean, that makes sense to me. I feel like Wolf has to adjust to their opponent's character more, whereas especially Falco, but Fox as well, they can just have the same game plan against most characters, I'd say.
Yeah, I think if I were to rank them like in terms of difficulty, I think Falco's the easiest to play like competitively. And then I think Fox is like the middle, and I think Wolf is the hardest. I feel like there's going to be some Fox players that are going to be like, "You're lying. I hate your guts. You're just a Wolf apologist or something." I still think Fox is. I don't think he's like super easy mode, but I definitely think that people give Fox players a bit too much credit in terms of like how difficult he is. Like he's not the easiest, but he's also like not like incredibly hard. In my opinion.
I mean, I agree. I can see that. There's definitely like harder characters than Fox.
Yeah.
But I would put him in the middle of the like road basically. Like, he's not that easy either,
Mm.
like you said.
Yeah, exactly. It's just but yeah. Let's talk about Leo versus Sonic. Or I guess Leo's run at Wavedash in general. It's funny because we talked about this the last podcast about how, Leo just needs to use different characters, like pick the character that he thinks works. That's exactly what he did.
That's literally what I said last podcast. I was like, if Leo just picks his characters according to like the matchup, then he'd be the best player in the game again. Literally that same weekend or the weekend after we talked about that, he went like 4 characters in Wavedash?
Yeah, Wavedash, he went Joker, he went Byleth, Corin, and he did go Meta Knight too, but he lost to Sonics. But he tried him. He tried Meta Knight
Aegis as well.
I don't remember seeing him go Pyramith, or he might have, but I don't know against who.
I guess he beat Sonics with Corin, right?
He beat Sonics with Corin, yeah.
Corin's pretty good, man. Like when I watch Neo,
yeah,
he makes Corin look kind of broken sometimes.
I think Corin is really, really good. The big thing for me is how easily some characters can edgeguard. Like if you're a character that has like really, really solid edgeguarding on Corin, I think it could be bad. Or if you dominate them in neutral, then it's kind of rough. But I feel like most characters don't do that.
It's a really good matchup for Sheik, actually. Because like you said, edgeguarding is good. If you have like a lingering aerial against Corin up B, even though Corin up B has like crazy disjoint, it's kind of not the easiest thing to like hit him during his up B. But if you can do it, then you can just get free games against him.
Yeah,
if you're able to put that hitbox around there before they actually get the wings out, then they're just straight bodied. So it's like, I feel like you just have to be preemptive of that space, right? Like be there where they have to be, because you can pretty much tell where they kind of have to go.
But despite that, I would still say Corin has not a bad recovery.
Yeah, I mean the wings are very disjointed, so it's like, it covers a lot of them, a lot of their body. The big issue is like if you don't hit them on startup, or like if you're a character that can just like hit their head, because that's like the easiest part to hit if they're coming up, then that should be really hard to do.
Yeah, it's crazy though, man. How many characters Leo went through for that tournament?
I think the thing I like about his the thing I like about his Sonic set is like as soon as he saw that the Meta Knight didn't work, he switched. He didn't like just try to stay with the Meta Knight. And something interesting, I don't know if Leo took this into account, but Sonics did make a matchup chart for Sonic, and one of the few even matchups he put was Corin.
Really?
Yeah. So I'm curious if Leo looked at that and he was like, wait a minute.
I got those.
I got that. He's like, I got a Corin. I am a little surprised he didn't go Pyramithra though, just because that was what worked before. But I wonder if he's just trying to phase that character completely out now.
He might. I don't know. I think it's weird because when I see Shuton play Pyramithra, just like this character's so broken. Like, why don't more top players play Pyramithra the way Shuton does? But then I watched like a non-Shuton Pyramithra, and it's just not the same, man. It just doesn't hit the same.
It does not hit the same for sure. I completely agree with you on that, man.
The gaps were a little bit like smaller between Shuton and like the other Pyramithras before, but now I feel like there's a pretty decent gap between Shuton's Aegis and like second best Aegis. That's just my opinion, though.
I just think Pyramithra is very unforgiving because of the recovery.
Really hard character to play at top level. Like getting edge guarded is so like that shit is so hard for your mental. Imagine beating it like you're winning against the Kazuya and his last stock and you're like a 0 but he's like at like 100 and he just like hits you with Gates of Hell. That's it. You're dead.
Yeah,
that's really it.
Dude, what?
So, it's hard.
Something else, or one thing I think of like regarding that is Battle BC4 when Kome and Cosmos played each other. I didn't watch the set, but like after, Cosmos is like, yeah, I'm maining Joker. He's like, I'm not doing that anymore. He's like, I'm playing Joker. And then he just did not want to play Pyramithra anymore.
Dude, I played that matchup with Ramses, like Pyramithra Shulk. We played that a bunch actually, and it's fucked up, bro. Like off stage against Shulk.
You have to hold all of it.
Like that character might actually beat Aegis, but like there's no Shulk player, so nobody knows.
Yeah, dude, I've been saying I think Shulk might be the best character against Fighter Pass 2.
I can definitely. I would say
that makes
a lot of sense. Bayo as well.
Bayo's really good against Fire Pass 2 as well. Like very, very good. She does not give a damn about what any of them are doing, pretty much.
Yeah, because I think Bayo beats Terry.
That's Fire Pass 1.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
that's Fire
you mean
Pass 1,
you mean
okay.
Kazuya?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I guess Kazuya. I just meant DLC in general, I guess. But I think she does beat Kazuya. She beats Sephiroth. She does pretty okay against Steve last time I checked. So she does good. Like, because against Steve, you
Min.
can then. Yeah, oh, Min for sure. That's a good one. Against Steve, the fact that you can Witch Time Anvil and Minecart, I think is huge.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you watch Lima versus Alcola from a few months ago, it's just crazy how he just Witch Times and everything Alcola does. Yeah, either Bayo or Shulk that does the best against Fighter Pass 2.
Well, I mean,
Apparently Greninja does good too.
I was gonna say there's quite a few. I mean,
There's a couple characters you just don't
yeah,
see them in
yeah.
the
Game
run,
Watch.
right?
because there's also Sonic.
Yeah, well, Sonic does well against everybody. Sonic is
It's,
Sonic.
yeah, but you got to bring them up, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Of course.
There's quite a few characters. But yeah, getting back to Leo, I was just happy to see it because I'm like, I mean, we also talked about it. We like his Corin didn't really lose in general, so like, why'd he stop using him? And
He just plays too many characters.
Then like I guess like to your guys' points, right? He was so focused on that Aegis, and it seems now that he's trying to play that character less, kind of lean in that Corin, try to fill out his repertoire, bring back the Meta Knight and stuff too, and have the Joker, which is cool. But yeah, I love seeing him pull that Corin out, man, because yeah, he was like bodying people with that character, and I always feel like that character is so funny, man. Like it's just like that character just has some like tools that are just super insane, and then like you almost have that effect where it's like, all right, well, I have that midroid, like I have that nice disjoint. I'm just like I can just like box you out, kind of like the Lucina with the extra goodness. So you know, it's cool to see that he's continuing to use that character and to push it forward. Because yeah, I definitely think Corin has a better spot in this meta than people would talk about for quite some time. Or I was talking to Cosmos too. He's funny because even he was talking to a couple of people at MomoCon, and he's like, "Yeah, man, like, what do you think about Corin, man? I think Corin better than people think." He's like going off on a tangent, but yeah, it's just good to see the character in action.
Yeah, I think in some ways, Corin is like a hybrid of a lot of things that Leo has been good with in Ultimate.
I agree.
Like, Leo had a really good Wolf, and Corin Forward Air is literally Wolf Fair. It's like probably better Wolf Fair because of the disjoint on it. Yeah, it has a really good Nair that covers his entire body. He just has big hitboxes in general, like the Nair, the up air.
All his aerials are good, honestly.
Yeah. And then, Leo is like the spacing god, and he also has Tipper hitboxes with pin and forward smash and down smash.
Yeah, Corin in theory is like the perfect character for Leo.
Yeah,
So
it reminds me of the Gunnery with Byleth too. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like you have some of the robbery, right? And then you also have the kind of like, all right, I just have generally good hitboxes and aerials that I can maneuver around in space and body people with.
Yeah. I think the biggest issue that people have with Byleth is just like the mobility, but then Byleth is also a slow character, and Leo is proven he can make that work like exceptionally well.
The problem with Corin is like he doesn't have any jank, so it's like I just think Corin is very honest. So...
Well, what are you talking about?
Yeah, I don't
Robin, what
jank does Corin have?
Pin!
Pin!
What? Yeah, like what are you talking about?
Wait, how is Pin's not gonna kill you at like 90, bro?
Bam.
Wait, no, there's no
Bam.
Wait, what?
Oh, you're talking the sweet spot pin at the edge.
Yes,
yeah.
that kills.
Oh, okay. I get.
It's unreactable. Yeah. He literally.
Okay.
Did you watch?
I feel like it's really hard for them to hit that.
Did you watch Leo versus Sonics? He was two framing him with it.
Actually.
He was two framing him with it.
He really?
Yes.
Yeah, that thing is broken.
I'm a little bit biased.
Pin is broken.
Yeah, dude, you literally can't even react to it.
Apparently, Sheik is like Corin's worst matchup, according to Neo. Like he released like a matchup chart a week ago. So I don't know. I never get hit by that shit ever when I fight like Corin players.
Okay, well, here's the thing. Like, imagine this: you're hanging on the ledge, right? And then you hang on for a little bit too long. You get tipper pin and you just die.
Yeah, I mean, let me just put it this way. I just think Byleth is better at getting reliable kills earlier than Corin. I feel like Corin is a little bit more honest in that regard, except maybe her pin.
Don't play Sheik versus Corin. Play another matchup, bro. You're way too biased against it because like when you said that Corin has no jank.
No, I just think okay. Let me rephrase that because apparently she does have jank. Pin is pretty janky. I just think Corin overall is honest. Would you not say Corin is an honest character? I would say Corin is an honest character.
I'll give you this. I feel like Corin doesn't like. There's certain other characters, maybe they rob more often or more blatant. Maybe they have more tools that are like robbery tools per se. But Pin is ridiculous. I think Pin
Pin is
that's
ridiculous.
Pin is
Yeah.
insane.
But
Yeah.
like so,
I
but yeah,
forgot
there's
about Tipper Pin, to be fair, but even despite that, I think Corin's like fairly like honest. You know what I mean? Like not that janky or like doesn't cheese you that much.
She doesn't have like any crazy tools. Like, I mean, we've seen so many characters. Like, you know, there's. I don't want to bring up Fighter Pass 2 because we talk about Fighter Pass 2 too much. But like, you know, Harry, freaking Bowser,
Harry, oh my god.
my bad. Let's go.
Bro,
Go.
Nobody
my bad.
talks about the
Go, my bad.
spot
Go,
dodge
go.
cancel bullshit Harry has.
Oh, that thing's
it's
great.
pretty wild.
So good.
Yeah,
I
that
actually think it's one of the best things in the game a character has, and nobody talks about it. I think it's so broken, like the spot dodge canceling. Harry gets away with murder, bro. Like,
It's completely
I don't
intangible
understand.
when he does it too. Completely
Yeah.
intangible.
He's just chilling, dude. He's just he's like, "What up, dude? I can beat everything."
Yeah.
That character's ridiculous.
And
bro.
Anvil, what's that?
Okay, but we should rush to the actual events because we're not going to be that long, right? CEO. CEO has Riddles, the Buzz, Apollo Kage, Mutace, Yara, Anathema, Almighty, which I'm pretty sure is Jake. I think he changed his tag. MVD, Goblin, Aaron, Jazzo, Omega, Sean, Fatality, Kobe, MPG, Esam, and more. There's even more players than that.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah. So, I mean, this based off of the people I mentioned, who do you think is going to, like... Yeah, I guess who do you think is going to win? I'll tell you right now, Riddles is the first seed of the event.
Probably Riddles. Honestly. I can see Yara win as well.
So the way the bracket is, Yara and Mutace are going to have to play in winner's quarters. And then the winner of that will play Riddles in semis based off
I
of
think
seeding.
that should be difficult for Mute. I feel like Stems is pretty okay against Peach, and I also think Yara probably has like the experience advantage. Like I think Yara's probably better versus Peach than Mute is against Stems.
I was going to say, I feel like Mutace versus Japan was pretty rough.
It was very rough. He
Yes,
got
yeah.
tossed.
I think the big thing is, honestly, it's kind of like what you're saying, Ramen. Japan has a lot of Peach experience, so
They do.
he can't really abuse that. And then I also think Mutace, as good as he is, I feel like he probably just doesn't have the same he doesn't have like diverse experience against a lot of characters, and there's a lot of characters, especially zoners, that can make it really, really rough for Peach. I don't think they beat her but that's just because I have a really high opinion of Peach. But I think that if you don't know what you're doing, it's really, really hard.
No, I see that.
I agree.
I agree too. And it's like, it sucks because it's like you said, they have experience. And it's not just like they have experience only in this game. But it's like Umeki has been playing the modern, like he's been the trend center of modern Peach for like 3 games now, right? So it's insane. Like when you're just thinking of a scene, right? Like they've always kind of had these people in there and they're getting like the top practice with optimization, right? Like, so they've seen like I have to beat this character who touches me once or twice and I die, right? And this is like dating back to like back in the day. So I feel like when you have that, things change, right? Like when you have that mindset, when you have the mentality, it's like even if Mutace is on his best day and he's landing these combos, it's like they've seen that before. They're not going to be someone who's going to get rattled and be like, "Oh man, my stock exploded!" And they're like lost in time or whatever. You know, they're like, "Oh yeah, Umeki's been doing that for years, bro. Like I've seen this before. You know, I'm not rattled by that." So yeah, that's a hard one for him to circumvent, like that gap in all the characters, because Japan has so many characters. And then also, every time I think of like freaking him in Japan, I think of Kaguribi, and I just think of that Inkling that like 3-0'd him, and he just popped off, dude.
Dude,
I watched that set. Yeah, dude, that Inkling was nice.
Dude,
he was very nice, but that pop off was hilarious.
I've never seen a Japanese person pop off that hard.
Yo.
That was the first time. That was an American pop off by a Japanese.
Not even just American pop off. That was a Midwest pop off.
Midwest
geo tags like that is crazy. Like he's like, ah! I was like, oh shit, what's happening?
That was crazy.
It was a 3-0 too.
It
Yeah.
was so odd seeing a Japanese person like pop off like that, but that's what I want. Honestly, I need more Japanese people to bring that energy when they win.
Do you know who
They're too
pops off all
modest.
the
They're too,
time?
like,
No, you know who pops off all the time? Freaking Kameme. Every time he
does.
wins, he
does.
jumps out of his chair.
That's
does.
true. Actually,
yeah,
I love
he-
Kameme's
yeah.
energy, bro.
Yeah.
Gact pop offs are also good. That's true.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Gact, Ken.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Man. But yeah, dude, Kameme, I love his pop offs, dude.
Yeah.
He just
Dude,
gets up
like
out of
he
his
just jumps up, he's just like
Yeah, I'm like, damn, bro. All right.
dude, Kameme has like the most alpha energy.
Dude, he's so funny.
Yeah.
He's a family man.
He is a
He
family
is a
man.
family
man,
man,
dude.
yeah.
Man, I remember back in the day, dude. At ESA, he was just in the corner, dude, freaking smoking, just chilling.
Yeah, dude, every time I see him outside, he just has a cigarette in his hand. Just
Yeah, dude, that fool
Yeah.
he always try to hide, dude. He's like, he didn't want to disrupt the the perspective of Japan, dude. So you always gotta hide somewhere. And afterwards, he was like, like, he didn't care anymore. It
You
was
guys
funny.
just like unlocked a memory of mine. I think it was like it was a Smash 4 major. I think it was Frostbite. Kameme got eliminated in top 8. I think he got like 5th or 4th, I forgot. And I remember walking outside and it was raining, and he was just like smoking in the rain by himself after he lost.
What a legend!
And I was like, "Damn, you look
It's
so
just-
cool right now." Like,
It's just raining.
It's-
like, this is so anime.
Yeah,
He was like
dude.
by himself, like he was just wearing a hoodie, not even a jacket or anything. It was like raining. He was just like,
What
by
a
himself
baller,
smoking.
dude.
Oh,
Young Kameme, dude. Dreaming
Yeah.
of his family, dude. His future family.
it was funny seeing it in person.
Dude, yeah, dude.
Um,
Good time.
But yeah, going back to what we were saying about Mute, I think Mute can take the tournament as well.
Mhm.
But like, if he has to fight Yara, like I said, it definitely depends because Japan knows the Peach matchup. It's kind of hard to tell from the time Mute was there because he also has like problems with his health. Kind of hard to attribute how much that affected his play compared to how much Japan knows the matchup. But like historically, Japan's always been good against Peach because they've always had like a good Peach player like in any game because
Mhm.
it's just such a I don't know they always had like a good Peach player like in any Smash game. Except Melee, maybe. But like ever since Brawl, always had like top level. The best Peach players in the world pretty much always came from Japan.
Yeah, I want to say there was a top Peach player in Japan, but I don't remember. But yeah, no, I definitely agree. There's always been a top Japanese Peach. There was that one in Brawl that like had the crazy movement. I know.
Yeah, was it Key?
I think it was.
I think it was
Yeah.
Key.
I
Yeah.
think it was
Yep.
Key, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was KEI, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Mm-hmm.
he also played Smash 4. Didn't he beat Rayquaza in that Smash 4 cruise battle?
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah.
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 That was him, right?
No,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Yeah.
that was him. Yeah,
That was
I
him,
forgot
yeah.
about that. Dude, I remember.
Yeah.
You remember
I bet you
the
did.
the GR Trash video?
Yeah, dude. Oh my god, I love GR Trash.
Yeah. To get back on CEO, I think the Buzz might win.
I can see it honestly. Who the Buzz has to fight? Oh, he has to fight the
Paul Kage. I think it's gonna be a really good set. I don't even think they've played. I don't think I don't remember seeing it, but I feel like that's gonna be a really, really good set.
Yeah.
That's good for the Buzz, honestly. In
Mhm.
terms of like top level matchups,
Yeah.
that's probably his best like matchup from like top 5, top 6, I'd say.
Yeah, it's a good spot for him.
Um,
I would love to see DeBuzz get a W, honestly. I've been loving his Rosalina play as of late. I know some people hate watching Rosalina. I actually think the character's cool as I love the puppeteering of the character. So I just personally, like when I see someone like actually doing all the puppeteering stuff, I think that stuff's really fun.
Yeah, no,
Like,
it's nice.
generic basic Rosalina, I get it. That's kind of boring, but I love seeing his play. I love that he's been more focused and in tune with the character. I know when he was in Japan, he was talking about how he just saw all this kind of cool puppeteering stuff that the Japanese Rosalinas were doing. He's like, all right, well, I'm just gonna take that, dude. And so he just took that and just like obviously
yeah.
had an iconic run over there at Kagaribi. So yeah, man, I'd love to see him continue the trend there and see him come out with a dub. I mean, he also was able to beat Riddles there too, so that was a really big one for him. So he's someone who always studies, so I'm sure he went through all those VODs and really figured out, okay, what really worked for me, and I'm sure he's looking to repeat that. So yeah, that would be cool to see him. I'd also like to see Apollo Kage. If Apollo Kage was able to take it, that'd be sick too, because he's been on such a journey.
Yeah, he's another
as
one
a player. Yeah, and he's just so focused. I love seeing that.
So funny enough, I do remember this. I think this is the last time that Riddles and Apollo Kage played. It was at Frosty Faustings, and it was set 2, game 5. Apollo Kage reset the bracket. Game 5, Apollo Kage lost because he C4'd himself.
Yes, I remember this, and he just shook his hand and walked off.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, "Wait, what?"
He literally he lost because he C4'd himself against Riddles.
I remember that. That was a good set though.
That was a really good set, yeah.
Yeah.
So I could totally see him taking it. That's the other thing. I feel like Apollo Kage would do well versus just about anyone. I feel like the only one I'm like iffy about is Yara, just because it's like another, like kind of the same thing. Japan's
good against Snake, man.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like they're just good. Like they're just across the board good versus most characters. And I also feel like I haven't really seen him play against the Samus. And I feel like that could be a matchup that I could see Snake struggling in.
I know he's expressed that he doesn't like the Samus matchup in the past, and he's actually considered going Steve against Samus as well.
I don't even know how that would work against Yara either.
I think he's really good against Samus, but I don't know if Apollo Kage's Steve is going to be good against Yara.
Yeah,
Samus.
and I mean, yeah, he's playing Akola and freaking Brigade of Steve's, Japanese Steves as well too. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he probably has he's probably very experienced versus Steve.
Yeah, and then I'm more worried about his set versus the Buzz, because I think if the Buzz goes min, because I personally think that's one of Snake's worst matchups, and I'm pretty sure Apollo Kage agrees. It's at least from what I've seen, he's been like complaining about min a lot on Twitter recently.
But is he still?
I don't know if the Buzz still plays min.
That was what I was about to ask. Like that's the big question, because I feel like. I feel like we've all talked about this. Like, we feel like Min should be a Debuzz character, but then
it's not.
It should. Why is it not working out?
Dude, his Min sucks. I'm gonna say it. It sucks, dude. I can't believe it.
I'm trying to figure out why. It doesn't make any sense to me.
It's so crazy, right? Like,
I feel like
why is it this way?
In theory, this is like the perfect Debuzz character.
Exactly.
Like you're not. I don't know if I can design a better Debuzz character than Min. Why is it not working out for you, Debuzz? Like, why? Maybe he just doesn't pressure enough. I think he just needs to play more.
I don't know, because I feel like, especially being that it's Debuzz, I feel like he would probably grind the hell out of that character.
Yeah,
so
you think.
I don't know. I just think that, I don't know, sometimes things just don't click. I think it just didn't click for him for some reason.
It should click.
It feels like it should.
I agree, yeah.
Sometimes, like, just start running in. I'm like, wait, what are you, like, well, I was like, dude, this is you, bro. Like, he's trying to box with people, like, yeah, what up? Like, up close, I'm like, oh, no, dude. This is not Debuzz. I feel like that's not Debuzz playing, dude. Whenever he picks Min, it's not Debuzz, man. He needs a Snickers or something.
Man, that's Sam. That's Sam.
Yeah, that's definitely Sam. It's not Debuzz playing that character.
I mean, his Min's fine. It's just that his Olimar and his Rosa, he has so much character experience with both, and they both play pretty similar to Smash 4 and Brawl.
Yeah.
So it makes sense that his Min's not on the same level as those two characters, but like at the same time, I'm just like, this character's too good for you to not practice this character, Debuzz. But
yeah, we'll see.
To be fair, he's been doing better than ever recently without Min. So
yeah, dude, his Rose is a unicorn. That thing is, love it, dude. That thing is unique.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah. I love his Rosa, man. I told him, like, dude, that's your soul character, bro. Just keep playing it, dude. Like, just keep playing it. Don't doubt yourself. Because everything's like, I don't know. I'm like, dude, just do it, man. Because at the end of the day, I feel like even when people are talking about matchups for this character, like Rosa, like I feel like no one's even hitting the level that he's been hitting with it, and even he like doubts it, and then he uses it, and he's like, "Oh, dude, this worked." So,
dude, I
just want to see him just go balls to the wall,
yeah.
Dude. I want to see Rosalina just go ham, and then redefine what your opinions of the character are and stuff. Because yeah, he'll be doing some stuff sometimes. I'm like, damn, it's broken, bro. Like,
dude,
what?
That's what I'm saying.
What do you do here,
dude? I think that there's a very good chance that at the end of the game's life, like Rosalina might end up being a top tier. That character is like, she has a lot of things. Like, she has freaking Wavedash up smash.
Yeah.
Her Nair is better than Ike's Nair, like in terms of comboing. Like at least now.
Yeah, that combo is crazy, yeah.
Oh yeah. His son.
Yeah. Like good out shield option with up smash. Covers like front and back. I mean, she's big. That's like the big thing. You know, obviously I'm not gonna say like she has no issues, but like she's a big light character. But we've seen big light characters do really well. Smash 4 Mewtwo.
I mean, she's good against zoners, and she's good against Shotos. I think she's pretty decent against characters that she can edge guard really hard too with her down air. Definitely not bad. She probably struggles with swordies, but not as bad as you think. Probably not as bad as it is in Smash 4.
Yeah.
It feels like too like just like a lot of the like as he's just kind of getting better at like setup, right, for like the puppeteering stuff too. It's like, yeah, like obviously you have Swords can come through and just like kind of like jam up Luma, but he's just gotten more consistent on setting up certain things. He's obviously using like the Wavedash stuff more. I'd love to see him do that with like I forgot what was that, you know, that loop that you can do right with the Wavedash as
With
well.
the dash grab.
Yeah, oh, not just
No,
the dash grab.
like,
Where you
basically
can,
it's like a
where
wave
you can
shine,
do that
right?
with the attack cancel.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
it's a
yeah,
wave
yeah.
shine one. Yeah. So
I've
like
seen it.
I've seen him do that a couple times in this stuff, a bit more. So he's utilizing that a bit more. There's still, I think when you look at some of these characters, there's a couple characters out there that really still have this kind of like this whole gateway of like options and things to discover, right? And like really fine tune. And I think Rosalina's in that place. And so the fact that he's doing well, like this well with this character right now, and there's still a lot of these things that you're not seeing peak. Like you're looking at some of these characters now, like I mean, obviously, like for example, like Rob, you're seeing a lot of like the optimal stuff now more in like game. Like Anathema, obviously going to CEO as well. Like he's one of them. Like you really like has to maximize. Steve obviously is a character we still haven't seen maximized yet, but there's a lot of characters across the board now. You're seeing characters get closer to that point in terms of their punish game and some of their options, and it's like it's cool because Rosalina has that not just for her punish game, but she also has that for like her neutral interactions, right? Her ledge trapping because of the whole there's so that you just have so many options, right? The plethora of options you get from puppeteering.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I just want to see him rock it, man, with that character and really just push it to the next level because he is a labber, and I'm sure he's been getting to the point where you're seeing this stuff now in his gameplay, and he's able to make practical use of it. And he's finding out like certain things where you're like, oh, this is way better than I thought. And it's like, yeah, because there hasn't been someone at your level utilizing that in tournament. So now we're seeing a bit of it, right? So
No, I 100% agree. Let's move on to the other tournament, King of Fields 95. That's another big event that's happening. That one has Gluto, Karama, Bloom, Siski, Lugi, Quick, Reflow, Andres, Super Semi. Is it pronounced M4E, Ramen? I don't know if you know the best player in Italy.
I just call him M4E, yeah.
Okay, yeah, M4E, Chag, Space, Leon, Iken, Makuro, Tarek.
Gluto and Siski are like S tier players. Then I would say this tournament has a lot of A tier players from the looks of it. Like Leon, Tarek, Chag, Space, Semi, Orion, Naitoru. It's actually quite stacked now that I look at it.
Yeah. I'm interested to see how M4E does, especially after his run at Icarus. I'm sure a lot of people are interested because
yeah.
I think
it's like a fluke or whatever.
Yeah, well, I think a lot of people are also saying he might be like the next like top European player that comes out.
Yeah, he did really good at the Spanish tournament before as well. I think it was Tech Republic or Glory 3.0. I forgot, but he got top 5. So like his last 2 European majors, he got 5th and 2nd. Not 2nd, 3rd.
Okay.
So pretty good, and even his Gluto set, like it was 3-1, but like it was close. Like the last game was like last stock. It could have easily won the game 5. So that's just like impressive stuff. Every time I watch his sets, he's just been playing really good recently.
And I'm sure a lot of people are going to ask this because you're from Europe. They're going to ask why aren't you going? So you want to explain why
I
you're
was
not?
supposed to go actually. I was already on the list for seating and everything, and I already registered and everything. It's just like ever since Japan, I've had like issues with my hand. So like this has happened like during the beginning of my Japan trip, and it's been just I need like a break for like 3 weeks according to my doctor, and this is like the 3rd week of my break. So technically I could have gone to the tournament. It would have like recovered just in time for this weekend, but like I haven't been practicing at all in like the last 2 months because I've barely like in the beginning I barely practiced because it hurt, and then the last 3 weeks I literally haven't touched my controller because my doctor told me not to. So like it would have felt really bad going there underperforming because you're not in shape. So and I also have a budget for like traveling and stuff. So I'd rather use my budget towards something that I feel ready for than this tournament.
Yeah, no, that's smart.
Why.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, I feel like more players are starting to see that now because I feel like perfect example is Spargo. Like there's points where Spargo is taking long breaks, and Yeah, I think if you feel like you're not prepared to compete, you shouldn't force yourself to do it. It normally does not end well for you.
That's my problem. I force myself to compete all the time when I shouldn't, and It's hard though, because I feel like people really hate seeing somebody get DQ'd, or like not DQ'd, but somebody like if you're supposed to go to a tournament, you announce it, and everybody like, all your fans and followers are looking forward to it, and then you make a tweet like, oh, I'm not going anymore because of like these reasons. Then it's never a good look. You know what I mean? I feel like it's a very difficult thing to do. There's been like a bunch of tournaments where I genuinely didn't feel prepared, or like there were some life issues, or you name it. Just some valid reasons for me not wanting to go. But like, it's hard, bro. It's just hard to flake on something because it's never gonna be a good look. So.
Yeah,
but that being said, I should still if I don't feel like I'm ready for a tournament, I should not compete.
Oh, 100%,
yeah.
man. And I think that's good, like what you're doing right now. That makes perfect sense, right? Obviously, it's like unfortunate when it's like you like register for the tournament and then last second, like quote unquote last second, you have to like pull out or whatever it may be. But I think that is good. I think that's like obviously good for not only for your hands, and obviously you want to have your hands, so like that's a good play, right? And then it's like, but also just good for the mentality. And it has been nice to see more players do that, like be like just kind of be more cognizant of burnout and just physical limitation, whatever it may be. Like you got to take care of what you need to take care of, right? Because at the end of the day, it may feel like, oh, maybe the fans are upset or whatever with that, but the people who actually care, they want you to do well, right? And they want what's in your best interests for your joy, not just doing well in the game, but doing well, period. So I think that you're doing the right thing there. And it's good to see more players like actually focus on that. I do think there's sometimes when you see people where it's just like they just like, oh dude, screw this game, whatever, blah blah blah, and just kind of give it whatever. And it's like I think that stuff needs to kind of like people need to like, hey, if you feel like you're dedicated and you're playing the game, like play the game. If it's like, all right now it's not time for me to go to tournament, then don't go to tournament, right? But
take a break, right?
Right, yeah. I think there's a balance there between being super self-deprecating and then versus like being smart and being like pragmatic and also just thinking about your future and what matters in life. So
yeah, it's definitely a balance there. And I also feel like people don't realize how many Smash tournaments there truly are.
There's a ton
compared to like other esports games. Because like imagine you play Valorant or something, right? You probably have like a tournament or like a major or whatever, like once every few months at most, maybe like once a month in Valorant. Yeah. But like for Smash, there's like seasons where you have to go to like majors back to back every week for like 3-4 weeks. And that happens like every year, basically. It's just people don't realize how oversaturated Smash tournaments get.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like people's expectations from top players to attend as much as they do, it's kind of wild to me sometimes. Especially considering how much recency bias there is. So if somebody doesn't compete for like a month and a half, then people are very quick to say like, oh, he's not top 5 anymore, or like top 10 anymore, like some ranking or whatever. They're quick to say that they fell off, but like I just feel like people don't realize how many tournaments there are in Smash. There's a big tournament, stack tournament all the time now. People should take breaks now more than ever, especially when you travel a lot. Like that catches up to you. Like I'm 30 years old, and like I realize now, like I've noticed now when I travel like 2-3 weeks in a row, like my body at the end of that is just like, you can't do this anymore, bitch. Like you're not like 19 anymore. So now it's like, okay, I have to actually think about which tournaments, like which time window I'm gonna use for attending these tournaments. Because before I didn't have to think about that. Before I was just like, all right, I can travel to all these tournaments, like I don't care. But now you have to be like, especially with all these like stack tournaments as well, and like you have to really choose what you're going to and be very mindful of what you're going to.
Yeah. Something to bring up too, like compared to other esports, is that I feel like Smash tournaments, there's so much more interaction. So like you're just like interacting with so many people compared. Exactly, compared to like Valorant or something else. Like it's crazy. And then I guess just to add on top of like tournament oversaturation, there's some people who will literally go to a tournament every single day. So it's like they'll go to their local events every day, and then there's a big event, they'll go to that, and it's like, dude, you're like
shouts to Paul Kage.
I feel like it's good. It's good if you can maintain it, but you have to also know your limit, because like there's been some people that I've seen go to a local every day, and I'm like, dude, are you even like,
Are you?
are you like you even able to like retain like the things you're doing? Because I think a good process for improving is to yes play a lot, but then I also think it's good to like take a break and actually think about what it is you've been doing. And if you're just constantly playing, you're probably not able to kind of retain,
adjust, incorporate things.
Exactly, incorporate things like sit down, think, maybe I shouldn't do that because I do it like in every single match. It's like, yeah, you're not going to be getting that if you're just constantly playing.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, sometimes it's like you said, okay, maybe I get to the point where I now know I shouldn't be doing that. Well, what's the next option then, right? And it's like maybe the option isn't just a straightforward difference. It's not like oh, I should be shielding here and that's it. Maybe it's like, okay, I need to learn footstool how to shield here or something, for example, right? Then it's like, okay, you probably need to go maybe in the lab a little bit and test how to do that. But if you're not doing that, if you're just playing, that never gets incorporated, right? And then you never are able to use those solutions that probably take a bit more time to implement into your gameplay versus just like, oh, I just make the switch and that's it, right? So people all need to take time to really like refresh, reflect. I mean, you see it across the board and even sports too. Like, they're just not playing every day. They're not just lifting weights all day. They do VOD review. They sit down. They talk about it. They have time even for your body, right? Like from physical, from mental, all these things. It's very clear for people in order to grow that you put the work in, you take time, reflect. Put work, take time, reflect. That is just essential for pretty much anything that you're trying to improve in, right? It's not just keep going, right? Time and time again, we've seen the repercussions of that. But yeah, I mean, I know we're close to our mark here. I don't know if we have any final words or closing thoughts.
I think really quick, let's talk about the French tournament because we didn't really talk about it too much. So I guess quick thing. Who do you think's gonna win that? And then we can kind of touch on that. I know you guys have to go soon, so we'll make it really, really quick. I'll just start off by saying I'm a Bloom believer, so that's who I think's gonna win. It's gonna be interesting though. I think him versus Krama is gonna be a really fun set to watch. Blutony versus Bloom is always really, really fun to watch.
Dude, like, I don't know. It's too stacked because I'm gonna give it to Gluto. I think still. I really want to see Bloom against some other people that I haven't seen in Europe enough yet.
Or a US player like Kurama.
Or Kurama, yeah. But like matchup wise, like Bloom, if you look at like Bayo versus like Wario, Bayo wins. Bayo versus Samus, Bayo wins. Bayo Luigi, Bayo wins. And there's 2 Samuses in top 8 seeding as well. And I also think Bayo does good against Palutena and good against Ken. So like, and good against Sephiroth. So like in terms of matchups, like Bloom is actually like. Bloom's Bayo is really good in Europe, especially because I feel like the matchups are so good for Bayo here. But I really want to see Bloom against like out of Europe players or out of region players, like Kurama or like other players. I guess they're not here, but
I would love. Right?
Oh, Chag's here. Yeah,
Chag is
I would love to see Bloom versus Chag or
Yeah.
Bloom versus Kurama.
Icon's also here.
I saw Icon too. But again, I mean, that's another favorable matchup for Bayo, right?
True.
Despite Icon being an incredible player.
It would still be a good match to watch or a good set to watch.
100%. I personally am really interested in seeing Bloom versus Chag. I think that one thing about Gluto is he's always like pushing forward. So I'm sure he's been trying to figure out some additional options in that matchup, right? Versus Bloom. So I would love to see what the development is. I just love seeing Bayo play, and obviously I play Bayo myself. So on the buy side, I would like to just see like Bloom to go as far as possible. Yeah, I actually do want to see what the counter options are for Gluto if he can figure out anything, because that is a hard matchup.
Yeah,
and
the last time they played, by the way, the last time they played, Bloom lost to Gluto at Icarus.
That was the first time he beat him, actually, I'm pretty sure.
Was it?
Or second time.
I think he's taken a set off him before.
I'm sorry, it's the first time he's won a tournament over him.
Okay, yeah.
But it's favor of Bloom, correct?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, definitely.
I think Bloom is like even or like winning against everyone in Europe, at least all the top players.
Except Tarek. I think Tarek has Bloom's 2-2 against me, and I think Tarek is up against Bloom, if I'm not mistaken.
Like 2-1 or something?
No, he said it's 3-6 Bloom favor. Or unless he's not talking about him.
No, he's not talking about him. Tarek, but that was the first time Bloom won a tournament over Gluto, right? When they were both at the same tournament, or oh, I don't even remember. They've played so many times.
So
Okay.
he's saying 3-6 or 6-3 rather.
That's Gluto Bloom.
Okay. So
okay.
so Tarek said he's 2-1 on Bloom. All right.
Yeah, so I was right. 2-1.
All right. So all right. So Tarek. So Germany is good versus Bloom, I guess.
Yeah.
and the and Ramen, you're even with him, right?
Yeah, we're 2-2 right now, but 2 of our sets contained not our mains, because I went Crom against him one set, and he went me Brawler against me one set.
I still count it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Works for me.
Yeah. All right. Bam. So who do you think is gonna win? I don't think he's.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Bloom is going to win. Just off the numbers, I would like to see Gluto. I would like to see if he has like continued answers to things, or wasn't just like kind of like, one of the probability, just a stat, So I'd like to see that there. But I have a couple of matches that I'm interested in, like we talked about. The Chag one for me, that's the big one. I'm actually really interested in. I want to see Bloom versus Chag, because I think that matchup is interesting. Yeah, Chag obviously incredible player and someone that's like out of region, so. Yeah. I want to see how Bloom stacks up. I really want to see those kind of matchups,
Rather than who you guys think is gonna win? Who you guys think is like the dark horse, or like who you guys think is gonna make like a crazy run that you might not necessarily expect it from? Or who do you guys think besides like top 4 is gonna do good at the tournament? So from like 5th and onwards.
I think Icon. I think Icon can pop off.
Actually, I haven't kept up with Icon's like tournament performances in the last 6 to 8 months. What has he been up to? Has he been like competing? Like I have no idea.
I don't think he's been going to too many events. Yeah, I interviewed him, and he actually talked about how he's going to be in Europe for like a moment. So that's why he's at this event, by the way. So he's going to be a few more French tournaments. Like
okay, cool.
Summer.
So he's not here for Smash. He's here for like other reasons, and he's just attending Smash while he's here.
Yeah.
So you think Icon's gonna make like a crazy run?
I think he can. I know there's Andres, but I don't know how their playstyles might differ. So I think Icon could get some advantages from that. I know Andres plays all like the fighting characters. So he plays like Henryu, Terrien, and Kazuya, but I don't know how much of Ryu he plays, and Icon's just specifically Ryu. He only is Ryu, so I would say he's like more of a specialist in Andres's for that reason.
Yeah, and I definitely feel it too, that a lot of people don't realize, like, I think more people are now, but yeah, Ryu definitely has his own place in the meta, and like I think that like just because obviously it's been a while now, but because of the buffs he got to his fireball and all the different things there, like there's just like a lot of things that he can do that is just, it's different from the typical fighting game character. I feel like in my eyes, I feel like he kind of has a slight departure there. Obviously still has a combo game, the auto run, blah, 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 but because he's playing that mid range more versus those characters usually are trying to like push into that close range, right, to get their mix ups, whatever it may be. I think a lot of people, if they're not familiar with that and they're just like, oh, I know fighting game characters, I think they're going to be in for a surprise versus.
Yeah.
And he's obviously a really good player. And then Chag, I'd like to see him. I feel like we haven't seen Chag at his best as of late. So I just personally would like to see that more. He's really, really good.
Well,
has he been having issues? Right? He's been having health issues or something.
Yeah.
In like the last week and a half, he's been doing good in France, actually. He's been doing better in France than he's done in France in a while, or in Europe in a while. He's like winning locals, like some stag locals, and he did good at like another regional as well. So if he keeps it up this weekend, and if he plays as good as he's been playing like in the last 2 weeks, then I can see him like get a good performance again.
Yeah, he's also one of the few people who have beaten Gluttony. That's at this event. So
yeah,
he does have that.
Yeah, I guess Europe doesn't really have that many players that's beaten Gluto.
So there's Bloom, Siski, Lugi, I think Quick. Actually, there's quite a few people who have been Gluton that are here. I'm just looking at it because Bloom, Siski, Lugi, Quick. Yeah, Quick's taking 10 off.
That was forever ago, right?
I still count it, bro. Reflo,
I don't know if that counts.
Andres. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Andres also beat Gluto. That's
yeah,
right. Reflo also beat.
He beat him with
Actually,
yeah.
I take back what I said. bro.
Andres beat him with Ryu.
I'm looking at like top 8, and they've all beaten.
They've
like,
Yeah,
all beaten
they've
him. That's
all-
why they're there, dude. That's why they're there, dude.
That's why they're there.
It's weird because he's so consistent in Europe. Like recently,
He is.
you wouldn't think about him having as many losses as he does.
Hasn't
but I
Space-
guess over the course of 4 years?
Yeah. Hasn't Space also beaten Gluttony?
With Inkling, yeah.
Yeah, so there's quite a
I've
few
beaten
people.
Gluto too if I was seated here. Actually, everybody in this list. Leon's beaten Gluto as well before.
Oh yeah, Leon. I don't think have Makura and Targ.
He's very much.
I don't think have Makura and Targ.
I don't think so.
All right, Targ, it's your turn. It's your turn, bro.
Your time to shine.
It's your turn, Targ.
Dude, time to shine.
Get in with the Kazuya.
Hey, you got
Nope.
this, Tark.
I have to head out and move my car.
Yeah. Okay.
Before I
Yeah.
lose my car.
We should definitely end it here. It's been great. I'll see you guys again next Thursday. Yeah, are we making this a Thursday
Yep.
thing?
For sure.
Yeah,
All right.
do it.
Take care, guys.
See you
Yeah,
guys.
take care.